Perfect. Good morning, good afternoon, everybody. Hope everybody's having a great Saturday. Ellen, please keep me honest on this because I am a GoToWebinar newbie, so I'm trying my best right now.
Okay.
So
Manny, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, because I couldn't get on before. Okay. Manny can help too.
Perfect.
He and I both.
Thanks to you both. Like I said, am a newbie at this. So welcome to the annual meeting for the Lean Enterprise Division 2020 edition. So I know it's been a heck of a year, right? This was a much different year than what any of us expected. So thanks for spending your Saturday before Thanksgiving with us for everybody in the US and you're just, your Saturday off to everybody outside of the US. So welcome and thanks so much. We really appreciate it. So, and can you guys see my screen? Perfect, thanks. Okay, so hopefully this will be done in about an hour. So the outline for the annual meeting, we'll go over a quick why we're here, introduce some of our folks, our leadership team through the organizational chart. Some of us are also on webcam, so hopefully you can start putting faces to names. Go over what did we do this year and what are we looking forward into 2021, what we're doing, going over financials, and then last but not least, we'll close. So unfortunately, originally we had a training plan, but due to personal reasons, unfortunately, we're not able to offer that today. However, our next webinar is on December 9th. So please join us there. I think it'll be a really exciting one. So the purpose of an annual meeting is to really make sure that you guys as members know what we've been doing behind the scenes. So really wanted to show you guys our progress towards our annual goals as specified in our business plan, looking into 2021 business plan, and then also make sure you guys know where some of your money is going for everybody who's an ASQ member. This meeting is being recorded, I believe. If not, and despite otherwise, it'll be on my ASQ. So hopefully, if somebody wanted to come back and take a look at this, we want to make this as available as possible. So org chart. So this is kind of who we are. These are some of the many people and that help put together everything that we offer within the Lean Enterprise Division. And I also thought it'd be a good chance to go kind of a quick roundtable to everybody to just introduce yourselves to the rest of the to our members. For those who we haven't really interacted with. So sorry, I'm putting you guys on the spot. Just introduce yourself, say where you're located, how long you've been with the division, and then maybe a fun fact if you guys want to really be wild on a Saturday morning. So I'll go first. So Lindsay Lapatinsky, I've been with the division for 4 years now. I'm currently based in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Unfortunately, I moved here right at the start of quarantine, so I haven't gotten to explore too much. But I look forward to exploring once quarantine's over. Fun fact about me, in my spare time, I like watercolor painting, and that's been kind of my go-to hobby while in quarantine. So, Nick, do you want to go next? Let's try that. I've never tried this before. Sorry, team. I hit unmute all. Okay, maybe not. I've tried.
Okay, there you go.
There we go.
Thank you. I tried to unmute myself, but it was actually muted by the organizers. But good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. And my name is Nick Bias. I'm the chair-elect. Been with the division for over 9 years now. I'm the executive director and academic director for Global Supply Chain Management at University of Southern California. And I'm happy to see everyone, and thanks for joining on your Saturday.
Perfect, thanks. Lance? You are only self-muted, I did check.
Hello, I'm Lance Coleman. I am the immediate past chair of the division, and I've been with the division for about 10 years now. I'm located 2 hours north of Seattle. And fun fact, I used to earn a living as a certified personal fitness trainer for almost a decade.
Huh, I didn't know that. Thanks, Lance.
Mhm.
Frank.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. My name is Frank Murdock. I'm the professional development chair for this division. I'm also the segment leader for the design, control, and improvement segment of which this division is part. I'm also on the member of the ASQ board of directors and on the ASQ Voice the Customer Advisory Committee, on the QBOC committee, and I need to find a life. Right now, it's good because, you know, of COVID and everything, but fun fact is I enjoy genealogy and related throughout the ages. Alfred the Great, the first great king of England. So
That's a
whatever.
good fun fact. Thanks, Frank. I don't see Chris yet, but Ellen, would you like to introduce yourself? Take that as a no. Manny, would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. Howdy, folks. I'm Manny Veloso, and I help Ellen with webinars for Lean Enterprise Division. Fun fact about me, I have a couple of pinball machines in my basement.
Fun. Perfect. And Manny, where are you located?
Oh, sorry, I'm located in the suburbs of Philadelphia.
Perfect. Hey, we're neighbors. I didn't know that. Welcome. Dave Harry, would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure, I'm Dave Harry. I live in Greenville, Tennessee. I've been with the division as a member for probably 12 or 13 years. I've been on the division management committee for off and on for at least the last 10 years. I've been the marketing chair, the technology chair. I've been the networking chair, and right now I'm the communications committee chair, supporting all the value streams. And I work with Patrick Carroll and Leanne Schildmeyer in Phoenix and in Jacksonville area. And fun fact about me, I'm the process whisperer. So I listen to the voice of your business processes, just like the dog whisperer and the horse whisperer.
Perfect. Thanks, Dave. And then Patrick, you'll have to unmute yourself, but feel free to introduce yourself.
I am Patrick with supporting Dave on the communications chair and the really the membership chair. And this is about a year for me in the division. And so far enjoying working with all of you pretty much as our colleagues so far. I guess fun fact about me is I'm more of an avid tennis player than a basketball or a football player. It's probably my number one sport, tennis. So it's probably a good thing I live down here in Florida.
You can actually do it year round. And then Leanne, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Leanne Schildmeyer. I'm a Lean Six Sigma consultant. I'm the standards chair for the Lean division. I'm also a regional director for the mountain region of ASQ, and I will start serving as on the board of directors of ASQ starting in January for a 2-year term. I think I've been in the division like 12 years and then started helping with the leadership a few years ago. So fun fact, I don't know if it's a fun fact, I like to play golf a lot. And since I'm kind of a nerd, I keep a lot of stats on my golf. And I utilize process improvement to improve my golf game.
I love that. Perfect. Thanks so much, Leanne. Okay, and then Chris is trying to join, but she's having some technical difficulties. Chris Hayes is our Publishing Value Stream Chair, so hopefully she'll be able to join shortly. And then Lisette, who also wasn't able to join today, is our secretary, and she's based out of California. So perfect. Thanks, everybody. So quick update from the chair. Here's, our most recent picture together from back in February when we could still see our friends and family prior to quarantine. But I just wanted to take the time today to really say thank you to everybody. Obviously this isn't everybody. It's very hard for us to get all together. But I just wanted to say thank you just so much to everybody on the team. I know this has been a very difficult year and definitely not the year that we had planned. But I've really appreciated all the support that everybody's given to the division and then to me and myself personally. But then I also wanted to take the time to thank you guys thanks so much for being here today. We've really appreciated all your support. Hopefully we've been able to offer you, some learnings during this difficult time. And please, let us know if there's anything else that we can do. So that being said, looking into 2021, I just wanted to give a quick update for everybody who hasn't been able to, who hasn't seen this yet. But both the World Conference in May and the Lean Six Sigma Conference are now fully virtual due to COVID-19. So with that, it actually allowed us to extend our Lean Six Sigma Conference to 5 days, whereas traditionally it's been closer to 2 days. And then the World Conference, again, will probably follow a very similar format as last year. More to come with that, but I just wanted to make sure that everybody was aware moving in. So I know Chris, so next on our agenda, we were going to talk about the 8th Annual Global Supply Chain Excellence Summit. I know Chris is having a hard time logging in, but Nick, would you be willing to talk about this?
Absolutely, Lindsay. So as Lindsay mentioned, COVID certainly changed everything. This annual Global Supply Chain Summit typically is held in person on campus of the University of Southern California, which we typically have about 550 to 600 people in attendance over 2.5 days activities. But virtual event, this is the first time multi-day live emceed event was presented. 2176 attendees were registered from 38 countries. And we had about 108 in total panelists and speakers from across the verticals representing from manufacturing to the last mile delivery related activity. We also hosted Lean Excellence and the importance of Lean, because as you know, there has been a lot of conversation of the disruptions that we have witnessed due to COVID in supply chain, and often the conversation links to the Lean being the part of the blame for this. And there is a misnomer and misconception on this issue that because we drove so much efficiencies in our supply chain, and it to be blamed rather than the COVID and how we have, we had become so cost-centric and China-centric, so that we lost the perspective of resiliency and supply chain risk mitigation. So this was a good way for us to really open up the dialogue and the platform and sort of not defend the Lean, but just at least speak the fact on identifying how the Lean truly is not Lean really continue to help our processes, our systems driving efficiencies. One of the big things 4 years ago, Frank, when he was the chair, had instituted along with myself was recognizing the leader who practices lean in supply chain. And we're proud to say this year's the recipient was Intel, and they've done some amazing thing driving lean principle, lean efficiencies, and adopting lean training throughout their organization. So Intel was recipient of Lean Excellence Award this year. But all in all, virtual summit went very successful, and Lean segment had 89% favorability, and an average of every session was 83. So we certainly had much greater appreciation from the audience on the average, on a scale.
Perfect. Thanks so much. And then I know Chris is still having trouble logging in, so going straight into
Lindsay,
publications.
can you hear me?
Oh, I can.
Lindsay, can you hear me? Well,
Yes,
I don't know if you guys can see me, but GoToWebinar is really weird for me on my screen today. So sorry about the issues.
Hey, so Chris, I jumped in ahead of you, so if I miss anything, please go ahead.
No, I heard everything you said and you did perfect. So thank you. Appreciate it. So I want to just introduce our team on the publications value stream. We have two different areas of our team. We have our e-zine, which is our electronic magazine, and we have an amazing group of folks there that support this. Ekaterina is our editor, and we have a peer review group that includes Lance Coleman, Luigi, Patrick, Brian, and David Beeling. Ellen Ermer heads up our webinar section. She is our webinar committee chair with the wonderful help of Manny Veloso. So that is our team. I'm going to go ahead and go to that next slide. And Ellen's on with us, and I'm going, but Ekaterina is not. So Ellen, would you tell us a little bit between you and Manny about our webinars? You're on mute, I think. Or at least I can't hear you. Can everybody else hear her?
No, I couldn't hear her either.
I'll give you just 1 second. Yeah, there you go. So I just have to give kudos while she's figuring out her speakers there. The team has been just amazing. So I might have the chair title, but I could not do what we have done over the last year without this group. They have gone above and beyond in making sure that our webinars are back on track, that we have an amazing lineup, and that we are publishing our e-zines on time every year, which, you know, in the past has been a struggle as volunteers. So I'm just so blessed to have the people I have on my team. Anything? Nothing, Ellen.
Go ahead, Chris.
I think she's saying go ahead. All right,
Yeah,
well, I am not going to do, you know what, Manny, you're on. You want to, I can't hear you either, though.
You should be able to hear me now.
Oh, I can now. Sorry, it's probably on my end. Go ahead, tell us what's going on
Great.
with
Well, I'm
webinars.
happy to. So you can see here our list of webinars for 2020. And I have to say it was pretty interesting. There's a large variety of topics, lots of energy among the presenters. In fact, I don't know if you've seen some of them lately, but we started turning on cameras and starting making it a little bit more interactive. So I think that makes them even more interesting. So I don't know, I'm not going to go through each month here, but you can see some of the topics we've been talking about. And we've got 2021 similarly booked already, if you take a look at that. If we can get the next slide, please. So here you can see the stats. We had roughly a little over 200 people on average for each of the webinars this year. And you can see the ratings overall 4.3, speaker 4.3, relevant content 4.2. Some of the topics we did cover were new tools, technologies. We looked at non-manufacturing transactional processes, scaling change, and personal lean practices. So for next year, we're booked through August at this point in time. So if we can get the next slide, that would be great. So you can see here, and I'm pretty excited about some of the speakers that we have. We've got folks like Jay Arthur, Paul Akers, Mike Osterling, and Lance Coleman. So you take a look at the topics, you know, we're starting to get involved in the Quality 4.0, Internet of Things, but we're not forgetting our roots. Paul Akers is going to talk about Lean is Simple. We've got another one about turning data into dollars, and the one that we're going to see in July is the CI in higher education. And that's how they drove a problem-solving culture among the deans and provosts at a university. Should be fascinating because that's a pretty untapped area as well. I don't know if there are any questions about webinars or what's upcoming. If you guys are interested in speaking, please reach out to Ellen Ermer or myself. We'd be happy to talk through and see what makes sense for everybody. And thank you all, by the way, for the suggestions for speakers. Dave Harry, your name keeps coming up, so we're gonna have to have a conversation before long. People want you by popular demand. Anyway, that's all I have to say, folks. Thanks for listening.
Hey, this is Ellen. Can you hear me now? I just want to say really quick that really that title, it should be Manny and I both are chair or we're co-chairs together, because believe me, it has not been. It's been awesome. He and I think, have figured out a rhythm and kind of gotten through some of the bumps together, and I think finally things are going smoothly. So I just really want to thank Manny for stepping up and helping me out. Thank you.
Yes, I will echo that sentiment. You have both done such an amazing job of keeping this up, and it takes teamwork for sure. It's never one person. Okay, go ahead and go to the other one. Ekaterina is not able to join us. It is her boy's birthday today, Vladdy's birthday. So she is hanging out with him, but just a little bit of information on the e-zines. In 2020, we had 4 of them published. That is our goal, is 1 per quarter. We publish on March 1st, June 1st, September 1st, and December 1st. So we've got one coming up here. Typically there are specific article columns that come out. For instance, we have a learning from experience column by David Beeling. Most quarters, this quarter, we will not have one, so we won't have them for the December publication, but typically we have some amazing headlining articles. We have case studies and some tools and tricks, or T3. In our issue 1, we had, for stats, we had 64 downloads. We didn't have what we call an e-blast at that time, so that we didn't have the click-throughs, but we had views of 58 out of those 64 downloads. We have on issue 2, 35 and 54, issue 3, 67 and 66, and issue 4, which is is actually our 3rd. So let me back up and clarify that. We had a special edition in March that it was in January, was our special edition. And so we actually will have 5 this year. So we keep track of who's opening them, and while that might not seem like a lot, sometimes we can't see through the data whether they've accessed the e-zines in other ways, such as through my ASQ and other social media marketing that we do. But these are the actual email stats. Go ahead and go to this next slide. I think we have one more. And by the way, that it? Oh, I I thought there was one more coming. I'm just going to put a plug out there for anybody that's on the call. We are, just like in webinars, as Manny said, we are always looking for folks that want to try authoring for the first time, or have an interesting topic, even if it's not their first authoring, to go into our lean e-zine or as a webinar topic. So if you or somebody you know is interested in authoring or doing a webinar presenting, please reach out, Manny or Ellen for webinars, and Ekaterina or myself for the e-zine articles. Appreciate it. Thanks.
Perfect. Thanks so much, Chris. Okay, next we have Frank to talk about professional development.
Thank you. And again, it's a pleasure to be here. And I want to first thank the team, and you see some similar names here. Chris Hayes, who's been involved in a lot of different things. Mike Levenhagen, Jim Nelson, the Body of Knowledge, Paulo on Shingle Research, Manny on Lean Foundations and Lean Specialized Credential, and Chad Vincent also on the Lean Specialized Credential. So it's a team effort, and certainly if anybody wants to get involved in any of the development efforts for professional development, please let me know. Go on to the next slide, please. So we look at 2020. We worked closely with ASQ Learning Products based on their needs. They identified through their market research that Lean Foundations was needed. And so there were 2 5-day virtual sessions that have been delivered. It was originally developed as a face-to-face offering, but obviously we had to pivot because of COVID. So there's a Lean 101 course, which is basic Lean principles and Lean methods. Lean problem-solving tools, which gets into a lot of the tools and application in a problem-solving context. And then Applied Lean is a workshop setting in which they can spend 2 days actually taking and applying what they learned on both a simulated problem set as well as their own applications. In addition, we had developed a leading Lean, a 2-day in-person workshop that was delivered in conjunction with the Lean and Six Sigma conference this year, just prior to COVID, and that was pretty successful. We've also worked together with the ASQE certification operations. As you know, ASQ last year, or at the beginning of this year, split certification and organizational members separate from ASQ, and we now have a partner called ASQE. And through that, they also came to us to help develop a Lean Specialized Credential, which is e-learning based, and there are 15 online modules that people can take, and if they go through all those, they get a Lean Specialized Credential for doing that. And then together with the Shingo Institute, we've signed an agreement on shared research on the innovative applications of Lean and the resulting benefits that organizations have achieved. So we're beginning to work on that data set. Go on to the next slide, please.
Real quick, Frank, we did have a question. Could you please elaborate on the Lean Specialization Credential? And is it available for members to pursue, or is it still in development?
No, it's out there. It's been launched. So I would go to asq.org and look under training, but it should be there, and it will connect you through to the ASQE components. One of the things that we're very conscious of is even though ASQ and ASQE are separate entities, one's a 501c3, the other's a 501c6, different organizational entities. From a member's perspective, you wouldn't even know that ASQE existed, okay, from a certification perspective. So it's there, it's out there. What we'll do, let's plan on putting some links to those e-learning modules and to the certified credential program. We should plan on sending that out so that those who are interested can investigate it.
Perfect. Thanks, Frank.
Yep. So 2021, again, with the Xingu Institute and the University of Minho, Portugal, we're going to establish some shared research goals and projects around them on the innovative application of lean and the resulting benefits. So this year we were established the relationships, and next year we're going to actually see the results through some research efforts. This is all to help us as ASQ and as the Lean Enterprise Division help our members be thought leaders and provide that kind of value to our members. And then together with the publications value stream, define Lean 4.0 as part of the Quality 4.0 and plan to obtain content for Lean Body of Knowledge and submit that to the Technical Communities Council so that we begin to more formally curate and make available the new knowledge that is coming for our members. We'll do that in conjunction with Jim Nelson, who's part of the QBOC effort. And then vet and curate and make available also the existing Lean Body of Knowledge content that we have. So we've got a lot out there. It's just hard for people to sort through it. And so we want to make it much more accessible.
Perfect. Thanks, Frank.
Okay.
Okay, next, networking chair, April, you should be able to be unmuted, hopefully.
All right, can you hear me?
Yes, perfect. Thank you.
Yay, it's always a great time to celebrate when technology works as intended at the time that you want it to. All right, so hello everybody. I hope that you're having a great start to your day. So looking at 2020 in review, we had our Lean Six Sigma conference at the end of February and had a really fun and successful bingo networking event with over 30 attendees, which is exciting. Looking at 2021, as we've talked about the need to do more virtual activities for this coming year, we were looking to be supporting 3 ASQ conferences. As Lindsay mentioned at the beginning of the presentation, the Lean Six Sigma conference will be virtual this year, as well as the World Quality Conference on Quality and Improvement. And then looking to have an event at Quality 4.0 Summit. We're hoping to have some global networking events, and we are always looking for ideas from you as our members about what is most helpful for you. We know when you attend these conferences and events in person, some of the fun, or I should say for me, most of the fun is getting to meet people. And so wanting to still make sure that we have that aspect incorporated in these virtual events and being able to connect and meet with other professionals that you can learn and grow from. So if you have ideas, please let me know. I will put my email in the chat so that you have it and can let me know ideas you have for networking events this coming year.
Perfect. Thanks, April. And then there was a question in the chat. All the Division Management Committee emails will be available at the end of the slide deck. So if you guys want to reach out, you know, all the emails will be available. So it will hopefully be easy, right? Last but not least, Communications Chair Dave, take it away.
Hi, everyone. I'm Dave Herrick. We've all introduced ourselves already. I'm the communications chair. I've I've been through a lot of roles in this. So communications covers membership, social media, and voice of the customer. And our role is not a value stream unto itself. We're a supporting function to the three main value streams. So our role is to make sure that our members understand and are made aware of all the other events that are happening and able to get their discussions in. So that's largely focused through e-blast, which Hank Zarnecki sends out directly to our entire membership list directly. So you'll get that as part of the communications. You'll also get something through My ASQ, and I would encourage everyone to be involved in My ASQ. And then you'll sometimes get some things on the ASQ LinkedIn group for the LinkedIn division. On it's a private group, but we've got quite a few members. And if you request to join that in LinkedIn, you'll certainly be admitted within probably 5 minutes. And then we also deal with the marketing. So it's a support function, and I'm assisted ably by Patrick Harrell in Jacksonville, Florida. He's on the call, and he'll be talking about voice of the customer. I'll probably take a little bit about membership. He'll probably also cover membership. And then Leanne is also on the call. So we were limited in slides, so we're going to talk briefly about the three areas. Next slide, please. So from membership, Patrick, do you want to go ahead and try to address this, and I'll fill in if you have some communications issues, because I know you had some internet issues down in Jacksonville, but please take a crack at it.
Yeah, Dave, thank you. Thanks for the time, everyone. Our total membership is showing, as of, third quarter, heading into the fourth quarter, about 11,000 members. And, part of this may also constitute the uptick of just opening up all memberships when you think about ASQ's change in, in policy or change in offerings to the membership. So that also accounted for some portion. Senior members, fourth most senior members at around 1,800. New members, if that have joined 1 year or less is around 177. And then student members, third most student members at around 1,690. And this is interesting because one of the things that we want to continue to do is maintain membership that we have. But when we take a look at voice of the customer a little later, we want to make sure that we're connecting the dots between the value that members are getting out of their participation and involvement in the LED division, and how that drives not only increased membership, but also drives membership retention. I think those are some action items that we look forward to addressing in the upcoming year. David, I'll hand it back to you just to cover anything I may have missed and transition us forward.
Thank you, Patrick. That was excellent. And again, we look at, organizational members and fellows. And, the Lean Enterprise Vision is an older, mature, and I don't mean by age of the members, I mean by age of the organization. That and the Six Sigma Forum, have been around quite a while. So, we've got a lot of fellows, and that just shows the caliber of members that we attract. So we've got an awful lot of fellows within the division, ASQ fellows, and we're also a bunch of good fellows anyways. The conclusions I would draw from membership is that it is healthy, it is stable relative to ASQ and other divisions. Now, as you know, association membership has taken a little bit of a hit across the board as a lot of corporations, tighten due to COVID restrictions and their economic impact. So some of the memberships that used to be paid by corporations may have taken a downtick, but we are very, very healthy and stable relative to the other divisions, and also, relative to industry. We need to grow the student and organizational members. That's a focus from ASQ, and we see the value in having bringing students into the division membership, and then hosting them throughout their life cycle and quality. And manufacturing is still our largest organizational sector, although healthcare within this last year has really jumped up there. We've got a lot of consultants in our organization and a lot of educators. So if you're in any of those segments that touch lean, you're welcome to join us, and there's no additional cost, so don't be afraid of the $10. And you can certainly join our LinkedIn group and join our MyASQ community. If you have any questions, put them in the question thing and we'll get to them at the end. You want to go to the next slide, please? I'm going to take over the social media for Leanne. She had the option and she asked me to go ahead and cover it. So if you are not in MyASQ, and I think there's about 50,000 members in ASQ as the whole, and there's about 17 or 18,000 members that are of those that are actually within MyASQ. And MyASQ, if you haven't heard of it, is a private internet site within ASQ, and it's a community where members can discuss. We put announcements in there. We have a calendar. We have a lot of resources. All of our videos are posted up there. Links to the videos, links to all the e-zines, links to the webinars, and a lot of announcements. And going forward for 2021, the Performance Excellence Program, which is the program that's replacing the former PAR awards program and recognition program within ASQ, that will actually draw key metrics in 3 areas from MyASQ about how we're engaging our members. So if you're not one of those 2,598 members as of this morning, I would request that you join. And when you join MyASQ, and unfortunately you have to call, you can't just do that online. You have to call ASQ. There's no charge, but they will actually check the mark and you'll be a member of the Lean Enterprise Division, and then you'll automatically join MyASQ, but you have to have a a MyASQ profile and then select our community. But when you do select that, you'll get an email from me. And so far this year, I've sent out I and the team have sent out over 6,000 MyASQ messages to our new members. And I get a lot of replies from those. They have the links to the MyASQ profiles of our key leadership. Within MyASQ, you can get notified of key events like webinars and like this annual general meeting and other initiatives that we're holding. Some of the calls for documents to go into the e-zine and for webinar ideas. So please use MyASQ, join it, make friends, engage, and embark in discussions. We've got a live discussion on there on joint initiatives and things that we're doing. So there's the link. You can't get to it just by clicking on this slide, but maybe you can when you get to download the slide. Separate from MyASQ community is the ASQ Lean Enterprise Division LinkedIn group. And again, that's by request only, like all LinkedIn groups. And when we post things there, they go to the 521 members who can then share them, like them, comment on them. And so that gets them out to your friends and your peers. Again, we use that as a public forum for announcements, events, and LinkedIn discussions. And I might note that on MyASQ, the Lean Enterprise Division community in MyASQ, that allows us to tag events, and those can be seen whether you're a member of ASQ or not. We can make those things public within MyASQ, and people can see those. The MyASQ LinkedIn group is restricted to the members, but when you post them or repost them, your friends can see those, your contacts in the LinkedIn group can see them. And then we also have an ASQ Twitter account. We're not big tweeters. We certainly stay away from all the politics that we've seen lately. But it is a good source to find other members of the lean community. And we have now currently, as of this morning, 3,295 followers within that account. So if you want to go in and recognize or use the hashtag @ASQLED, you'll actually be reaching into our account, and then we can retweet it. So we're asking that you not post a whole lot of commercial things within the ASQ Lean Enterprise Division LinkedIn group, only because we try and restrict that so members don't expect a lot of political training ads and a lot of personal things in there. So if you do that, then some of the moderators will either take it off or eventually block you if you abuse the commercial side of it a little bit too much. Our Twitter account was formed in 2011, so it's been around for almost 9 years, and so there's how to get to that. Again, post your questions and I'll be glad to take them. And if you jump to the next slide, Patrick will talk about the voice of the customer.
Great, thanks, Dave. So we wrap up here just by giving you a quick overview of the voice of the customer survey and feedback that we got around February of this year. We wanted to take it after the quarter just to get a pulse on our membership and see how they were. I think across the board, we're doing relatively well. What we probably want to do as a result of getting feedback from the membership is to take this and see where we need to build in some actions that might drive value to the members in some specific areas. So as you're reading across these and you're thinking about the value, 56%, enjoy the value, we get a 61%, satisfaction rate. Overall, 44% are likely to recommend ASQ to a friend or colleague, and then 55% really view the workshops and training courses of being of high value. So we see some of the areas where we seem to be performing fairly strong, and we probably, as far as next steps and moving forward, would want to think about what should we do? What actions do we want to take? Do we want to drive some of those strength areas up higher? Do we want to look at some of the other opportunity areas around increasing membership for our college, college membership, student memberships? Do we want to expand and see if there are opportunities to broaden into what we typically call untapped spaces for membership? But I think one of the key things is thinking about those particular actions that we can draw a line back to some of these VOC, some of the VOC indicators that we see here. Also, another next step that we want to do is we want to take another VOC sample from the members in 2021. So we're getting that planning queued up and make a comparative analysis between early next year and this year, just to see where we stand. And that will also help drive what actions we think as a group collaboratively need to plan or take based on the data that we get. So just a snapshot here. Hopefully this provides some insight and gives us an idea of how we're doing, what the members are saying to us, and what we might want to consider for our members and the value moving forward. Dave, I'll hand it back to you if there are no questions.
Yeah, thank you, Patrick. And it's really good to have folks like Patrick, who's a master black belt and actually deals with thousands and thousands of customers in his role with this company, and also to have Leanne on the team, who's an absolute lean expert. To have those and both Leanne's experience on the ASQ board of directors and as a regional director and as a member of the Southwest corridor down there in Phoenix, we're really blessed to have those two as part of our communications team and to help do support. And I think the voice of the customer is really important because we want to actually listen to our customers, and the members are our customers, and we shouldn't be doing things for ourselves. We should be doing things for the members. And so we're looking forward to getting your feedback. Patrick said that we do the voice of the customer, and we try to tap most of the membership, but we do it on a quarterly basis. So, we may tap 25% one quarter, then another 25% another quarter. And what we want to end up doing is eventually having most of the membership and then being able to run year over year statistics to see if we can get some trends that would help us drive our actions. And that's all I've got. Put questions into the question and answer. A reminder to join my ASQ and create a profile and join the division and become active in there. And I'll turn it back over to Lindsay. Thank you.
Just real quick, so there was a question in the chat box about what we as a division are doing to promote senior and fellow members. Alan, you should be unmuted if you wanted to go ahead and give your spiel.
Okay, this is Alan Mendelson. I've been a member of the division for a number of years. Been active. I haven't been active with the division that much lately. I am also a process coach for ASQ to help members who are seeking to be nominated and elevated to a fellow membership with their nomination forms. I've helped several of the leadership team in LED, and I'd like to offer my services to any LED member if they are interested in being considered for nomination to fellow. I'm sure if their local section does not do it, or if they're somewhere else in the world, wherever their local section is, the division would be happy if you're qualified. The key thing is go to ASQ website, look up the requirements for fellow. It's besides, I think it's 5 years as senior, 15 years active. You also have to have coverage in 6 different areas. One of them that is no longer required, but in order to get enough points to be considered for fellow. And if you think you are qualified, download the nomination form. Just fill it out. Don't worry about the backup documentation. Fill it out and what you think you qualify for in the different areas, and email me, and I'd be happy to work with you. My email is ASM Apple Sam Mary and then the word quality at AOL.com. And if you are outside the country, number one, you need to speak English, and number two, we need to be able to communicate by email and hopefully at some point in time by phone too, if you're going through the process. So again, like to offer my services to LED members, and that was it.
Perfect. Thanks so much, Alan. Okay, last but not least, we're going to talk about financials. So looking at 2020, so initially we had a budget of around $60,000. However, many of those activities were canceled due to the coronavirus situation. So at mid-year, we gave a budget update saying that we were expecting to use around $19,500 through the rest of the year, and we came in pretty close at that at $17,500. So here you can see some of the expenses overview. So travel, so that was from the beginning of the year to travel and support the Lean Six Sigma conference. No travel since then, so no worries, folks. Partner payment, that was for the USC Summit meetings, the networking event at the conference, and then the teleconference that's to support the GoToWebinar. And then looking into 2021, so apologies for the typo at the top. So initially we submitted a budget of around $36,000 with the expectation that we were going to be traveling in Q1 for the Lean Six Sigma. That has since been updated and to around $27,000 because we're not going to be traveling to a virtual conference. And then we also will not be doing an in-person networking event because again, it's all virtual. And then just as a side note that this budget is still pending approval from the board of directors. So this is not the final budget necessarily, but just looking into 2021.
I can say though, as that the board did meet earlier this week and approved a budget, so we should be okay.
Perfect. Got our insider information. Thanks, Frank. So yeah, so we're definitely still seeing a major reduction in our budget compared to what we initially had planned in 2020 and then going into 2021 with a lot of the travel restrictions that are still occurring. We're still planning on doing as many networking events as possible, hopefully as many in person, or sorry, not in person, as many virtual networking events as possible. So if you guys really have any ideas for a virtual networking event, please, please, please let us know. And with that, here's a list of everybody's emails. I didn't have Ellen's, Manny's, or Patrick's on here due to slides, but if you, or Alan's. But if you want to get in contact with any of those folks, just please send me an email and I'll send it along your way. So, and you should have a copy of this slide. You can download it from the handouts portion of the GoToWebinar, and it will also be posted on my ASQ. And with that, like I said, please get involved. Next year, we're going to be holding elections for chair-elect and for secretary. So if this is something that you're interested in, please reach out, let us know. We'd be more than happy to discuss. And with that, right at the noon mark, thanks so much, everybody, for coming. Thanks for spending your Saturday morning, afternoon, evening with us. And we look forward to hearing from you soon. So if you guys have any questions, please reach out to my email on the previous slide. And with that, we're done. So round of applause, everybody. Thank you so much. Have a great rest of your weekend. And for those in the US, have a happy Thanksgiving. Please enjoy your holidays.
Thank you, Lindsay.
Thank you. Thank you, Lindsay. Thanks, everybody. Happy Thanksgiving.
Thanks, everybody.